Okay, so what we're going to do is adjust the knife blade so that it fits in here properly. We need to make sure that the knife blade length is proper. So first thing is just turn that blade toward the inside. You don't want to have anything across the top up here. Now, you don't want to run your finger like that. Just take the blade and run it along the vinyl here, and you'll be able to see when it just starts to scratch the surface. Just adjust it till it just starts scratching the surface. When you see that happening, you've got the blade even right here. So then put the blade in there. There's a little ridge on the top here that you need to make sure that the holder goes. And just turn that nice and tight. Don't have to overdo it. Next, you're going to go to, I've already set it up and initialized the vinyl. I'm going to press condition, and then I'm going to use the down arrow, and I'm going to get to blade adjust up here. That's number 4 option. So that's on the 3rd page. Just click number 4. Starts up and it says turn the blade knob to shorten it. We've already done that. We're going to press enter. Now it's measuring the down force here, giving me a 0 measurement. So I want to set the target length, okay? So number 1 option here. And I'm going to set mine to about 4 mils or so. Press enter or go to previous. It's now set at 4 mils, and let's check the blade again. Number 2 option. Alright, it tells me to turn it about 2/10 of a turn here. So we'll do that and check it again. Number 2. That's 2 mils. I'm going to go a little further. 2. A bit more. 2. And that's about right there. So we're going to say that's correct. So number 3 is going to end that. I'm also going to go down here now and do a test cut. So I'm going to hit the right arrow. And then we're going to choose force, which is number 1. It's going to cut the actual vinyl and pull it out for me to weed. So I'm going to weed away some vinyl here, and you'll see how that comes off very easily there. You see? Now I want to emphasize, if I take that blade out of there, you will not see that blade. It's very, very, very much inside here. I mean, I'm going to weed one more. What these 3 mean is the middle one is the normal force set right now. The left is harder, the right is less. And I can see this cutting right through the vinyl and just barely scratching the back of the vinyl right there. So that's going to give me a nice, easy way to set that blade depth. Once that's done, we press enter. It goes back to normal here, and then we're ready to use our cutter here to set up some more test cuts. I would advise you to go ahead and send out a file to see if you can cut it out. We're going to do that right now. Now what we're going to do is actually send a file out to that cutter there. So pick your favorite software, make sure you have a weed border around it, and send a file out to see how that blade is actually going to cut. Alright, the job is done. I'm going to step in front of you, and then I'm going to just use the down arrow here to pull that out a little bit further so we can take a look at it. And I put a weed border around this because I want to see how well that's cutting. I'm just going to start with the corner of the weed border here, and I want you to notice something. I am just barely pulling that, and you can see how that's actually pulling that vinyl right off of there very easily. Now I've got some pretty poor quality vinyl here, and it's still doing a really good job. Look at that. It's like butter. I mean, literally, you can pull off that vinyl and it just should be very smooth like that, almost like butter. Look at that. That's how that cutter should work. You know the knife blade's set correctly. It's not cutting through the back of the vinyl. It's cutting the actual image itself very easily. It gives you a good opportunity to work with, even difficult to work with vinyl. That's what I'm using here. This is not the easiest vinyl. You see how that weeds out really well. You might even want to take one of those letters off, just take the whole thing off, and take a look. You might have to view at an angle here. Take a look and see if it's cutting the backing. And I see this is just barely touching the backing. So that vinyl, that blade is just barely sticking out there, but that is the way this should cut. You shouldn't have a lot of length on that blade. It should be able to cut very easily, and when you weed it, it's going to be a very easy weed. Well, we're ready to cut vinyl now. This is the way you set up your knife blade depth.